We'll be talking about the states that are trending Republican, and yeah, let's get into a couple of these states. So, first state is a very obvious state. I think we all know at this point, and that's the state of Florida. Okay, we have to get the elephant out of the room here, but yeah, Florida is a safe Republican state now. Okay, Florida voted to the right of even some safe Republican states. So yeah, this is a state that is continuing to become more and more Republican. Again, and as a state, it's all because of the governor of Florida, the current governor of Florida, who has made this state. This is Marco Rubio. He won by like 16. Ron DeSantis won by 19. So you can see a clear shift in Florida to the right. And I think Florida will become a Republican state for decades. Kind of like how California was a Republican state, then became a swing state. Florida was a blue state a long time ago, and then it became a purple state because of demographics. And then now it is a safe Republican state. If you look at California, California used to be a Republican state, and then in the 90s it became a blue state as well, as the culture shifted in that state and immigrant groups voted blue. But Florida has voted 19 points for Ron DeSantis. I think and Florida now has a supermajority in the entire state. So yeah, this is a state that is no longer close for Democrats. Democrats may still want to spend some of these seats here, like District 14, District 23, District 22, and District 25. Some of these seats that may become competitive in 2024 if Republicans do even a better job in Florida and also District 9 as well. So Democrats still need to do better in Florida to keep some of these House seats if they don't want to lose them, because Florida is going away for the Democrats, as we all know. Number 2, Nevada. So Nevada as a state, you look at we always look at the voter registration trends in Nevada. CCM won by less than a point, which is very, very bad for the Democrats, because she had to win. Because the Democrats still have a voter advantage in the state of Nevada. They still have a voter advantage in the state of Nevada. And people need to realize, but this voter registration is stripping away fast. CCM won independence. Basically, is how she won. But she did the worst performance for Democrats in Nevada for since a while. And she did the worst for Democrats in Nevada in a while. And yeah, so we look at of course, Republicans could do better in some of these rural counties. Republicans do have a voter registration advantage in Rousseau County, but of course the CCM, or Catherine Cortez Masto, won independence as a big part of the vote. And of course, Republicans did just as well as they usually do in these rural counties. And the Republicans actually won the governorship in this state for the first time in a while. And this is a state that may no longer be a Democrat state. Look at the voter registration trend. If Republicans gave 25,000 voter registrations, CCM is not winning next time. She is not winning next time. So, yeah, and also if Republicans gain the voter advantage, in Nevada, because the Democrats only have a 50,000 voter advantage. Lids, Democrats are serious have to do better with independents than they did with C. Crawford Cortez Masto. So if Masto does the same with independents and Republicans in 2026 have the voter advantage in Nevada, this would be very bad for the state of Nevada. Because independent voters and Democrats are able to harvest ballots pretty easily and get ballots pretty easily out in the state of Nevada, but it was barely enough to put Boston over the finish line. Essentially, she only won by like 9,000 votes. Waxhaw only lost by like 9,000 votes. Here, I think it's 11,000. It's like 9,000 votes basically. So Exalt only lost by 9,000 votes. Lombardo, he won by around 20,000 votes here, and yeah. And this map might get pretty bad in the future as the state trends more Republican again in the voter registrations in Nevada. So the next state is the state of New York. The people are saying, really? New York? But New York has been gaining in Republican votes. Democrats still have around a 3 million voter advantage. So even if Republicans win with independents, they still have those 3 million registered voters. But Hochul actually underperformed the 3 million registered voters, which means some of the registered voters may have crossed over to Lee Zeldin. But again, she still won by around 300,000 votes, which means if Lee Zeldin runs again and around 400,000 people become, and the same become against 400,000 more Republicans, there's a very chance that Lee Zeldin could win in 2026. And again, this is a state that, people like, this is becoming a Republican, this is becoming more and more Republican as time goes on. And I think it might be a swing state by the 2030s and definitely in the 2040s. It might become within 10 by 2030s, and it might become a swing state or even a lead Republican state by 2040s as well. Well, so yeah, as a state, this is a state that is going away for the Democrats. Slowly but ever slowly, it is. It is. But as a state, New York may no longer be the safe blue state. The state that it's kind of like Texas. Republicans took Texas for granted, and they thought, oh, but Texas is gonna become a Republican state forever. This is basically might be the Democrats' Texas coming soon as well, because this state, if resounded, then really does something with the voters registration trends. It makes the state more Democrats, and Democrats don't turn out the next couple of elections. New York has a very likely chance of becoming a Republican state. So, next state that is trending Republican, again, this is a state that, South Carolina. So South Carolina is already a safe Republican state, okay? But this margin by Tim Scott was very large. This is the largest debate South Carolina Republicans have won in decades with Tim Scott's margin. He won 1 million votes. And Henry McMaster won almost 1 million votes. But traditionally, areas like Beaufort County, which is basically the bellwether of South Carolina, is trending more and more Republican. Beaufort County, which is basically the bellwether of the state. Tim Scott basically won Charleston County, which is a big population center. Also, he won Beaufort County as well, which is basically the bellwether, one of the bellwether counties of South Carolina, because they basically vote in line with whoever wins the presidential by in the state. And places like Horry got more Republican. Places like Beaufort got more Republican. And even Charleston flipped for Tim Scott. Not for Henry McMaster. But he did better. And even places like Columbia as well. So that is about South Carolina. And the next and last state is the state of Illinois. This is a very surprising state. Most of the states I'm focusing on are, I'm trying to avoid talking about red states, but someone said that South Carolina is becoming a blue state, and I wanted to basically debunk that whole notion. But this is actually one of the worst performances for Democrats, because since, of course, Bruce Rauner won the state. But J.P. Pritzker is not as popular as he thinks he is, obviously. Republicans definitely did way better in the southern part of the state, which is the state that Bailey massively overperformed in. And if Illinois had a more moderate candidate, there was a very real possibility that this state could have flipped. Okay, you look at the SIF map, you see mostly rural areas, and places that are more farmland. Like, for example, Bone County is a lot of farmland. Farmers with a lot of farmer area. Stephenson County has a lot of farmland. And this area in the south of Illinois is basically Alabama. Basically Indiana, Alabama, the south. Is more in line with Kentucky and Indiana than it is northern Illinois, which is more like Wisconsin. Bowling, Cook County, but even Cook County trended 1.4 points for Republican, which is pretty funny. So if you had a more moderate candidate running in Illinois, you might have won. You might have had a massive shift like in New York of 10 points in each county, similar to New York as well. So overall, Republicans actually did pretty well in most of Illinois, except if there's some places like DeKalb and some random areas which had small shifts to the left. And Randolph, they did worse in Randolph as well. But they did better in places like St. Clair County. They won Rockford outright as well. And Bailey did better in Rockford than Trump did. And he overperformed Trump in many of these counties in the state, which means Illinois, if Republicans gets nominated a more moderate candidate, they might actually win the state outright. They might have won the state outright, but again, the events for Illinois Republicans wasn't really there. It was either Bailey or Irvin, and a lot of people were going to vote for the guy who Trump endorsed. So, and there was also some other no-name candidates that were basically, in the primary as well. So Illinois, as well. We could also talk about California, as well. A bonus state we're going to talk about is California. So California, surprise, surprise, trended Republican, again, which is pretty hilarious to see that California trended Republican. For example, Brian Dahl, who is the other guy, only lost by 19 points currently. Currently, he lost by 19 points. Some House races haven't been called in California. Most of the SoCal districts have been called, but most of the places like David Valadao is probably going to win. Kevin Cayley is going to win, and John Duarte is likely going to win. So it's as well. No, and some races have not been called yet in California. This Democrat one, which really should be called for one of the Democrats, but because of course California's jungle primary as well. So Republicans have done a much better job of getting out votes in California. They have basically said, we could play the system that the Democrats play in California and try to get as much votes as possible. And it seems that they did a pretty good job in SoCal. They won Orange County outright. They're winning Riverside County. They're doing better in Imperial County, which is a mostly Hispanic county as well. And here, Imperial County is a vastly Republican trending area, and a ethnicity, a group of people that is trending towards the Republicans as a whole as well. So places like Imperial County, they don't have 100% of Imperial in, but Republicans are doing much better in San Diego, Imperial, even Los Angeles. They're doing much better. It seems that people in California want normal people as well. And some of these counties are becoming more and more red as well. Places like Kern County, places like Tulare County, and of course the Central Valley is becoming more Republican again as well. So I think California definitely not going to become a Republican state again, but definitely in the far future, like 2060 or 2070, there was a very huge possibility that California could become a Republican state in the far future again. But again, all we have to do is wait to see what happens with California. But Republicans are seriously stepping up the game in California, which is why we have mentioned California. Because Republicans are stepping up the game in the state of California. Yeah. And I think Republicans need to use the model for California for the rest of the nation. As much as much as we like to set on California, at least the Republicans of California realize that yeah, we need to embrace mail-in ballots and ballot harvesting. Which actually ballot harvesting, which is seen as the F word, is actually legal in almost every state except for Alabama. So that means it's actually legal to harvest mass ballots like Democrats have been doing the past couple election cycles, which is how they have been winning. But now Republicans are starting to realize that we need to play the game. If we want to win and we want to change everything, we gotta play the game. We gotta play the game, and that's what they did in California, especially SoCal. They did way better in SoCal than they did in decades, and they might do better in many of these coastal counties as well. Even places like San Francisco County, they're doing better in San Francisco County as well, and doing better in the San Francisco area as well. And I think they might be doing slightly better in San Francisco, but they're doing a bit better in many of California as well. Yeah, they're doing better in San Francisco by 1.8 points, but they're doing better in most of the state as well. So if Republicans continue this strategy, they might win more counties in California. Yeah, and I definitely do better in many of these counties in California, especially places like Orange County, which voted 12 points more Republican, and San Diego, which voted 11 points more Republican. Which means California is no longer the plus 30 state it was in the 2020 election. It is more like a plus 20, plus 23 state, which still means it's a deep blue state, but Democrats are doing way worse in California. Yeah, same thing of Illinois and same thing of New York. So most of the states that Republicans did better in this cycle are, of course, the deep blue states, which is pretty hilarious to see that the Republicans are doing way better in deep blue states than the swing states as well. So yeah, that's basically what this video. Goodbye.